one common bond that I've seen through all cultures is music. You put a song on, and you'll see all those different races tapping and moving to that same song. I knew music had that kind of power. I knew music had that kind of magnetism that it just breaks people down so that they want to get drawn in. I don't know exactly why that is. I just know that it works, and it's a universal. So I found a way that I thought I could use it, and I wanted to use the eyes and hearts of the future, because that's the answer. Young people.
Now, what we're doing, we're portraying this pure message of like, can you hear the music? And it's so uplifting and it's so positive.
Definitely.
You know?
We want to touch somebody, like we want to reach in and, you know,
Yeah.
give them hope, something that they can look forward to.
If you think about it, like, what other language can everyone understand? You know, music is a language in its own way.
Gary came to me probably a year ago, and he had a fantastic idea. And it had to do with kids in our high school being involved with professional musicians and other professionals.
And I said, I know that I could write an original piece that I could use these young people to send a message.
Around you today are some of the most famous, well-known musicians in the world.
What we need to do is to say to these young people, we are that shining light that is available to help you. This is a part of your education. This is something that you can carry with you wherever you go and say, hey, I was a part of that program.
The mentoring program enables our students to work with professionals out of the school and to get a first-hand experience using the skills that they've learned in the classroom.
They came today because they hear the music. They've dedicated their lives to music. But more importantly, they are here for the same reason why I brought you here. They're here because they believe in you.
I think if you talk with any of the kids who have been involved in any aspect of this program, they're going to tell you that this learning experience, above all others, is going to be remembered for the rest of their lives.
When I noticed that when we talked about something real in the classroom, their eyes lit up because they could relate to it. And me being a professional musician and having ties to musicians, I thought if I could get young people to work side by side with them, they would be able to feel the experience and say, you know what, I can do what they're doing.
I've been saying to everyone that I wish they had a program like this when I was in high school. And it's a pleasure for me to be involved in it, and it's nice to see all the kids so enthusiastic about it and so excited and so focused on wanting to be good at it.
The greatest mentor of my life was the great Gil Evans. He's probably best known as being the arranger for Miles Davis. I played with Gil for the last 15 years of his life, from age 60 to age 75. Here's a man who never settled in his ways. He was always listening to new music. He was always entertaining new concepts. I worked with these kids in the studio, and they have an amazing amount of energy. Just as Gil Evans was an influence on me, I would like to be an influence on other people. I'd like to take what has been passed on to me and pass it on to other people.
I'm grateful that I've had the opportunities that I have had, and I feel I'm certainly at an age and a stage in my life now where I welcome the opportunity to give it back to those who are up and coming.
Okay, so let's try letter F. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is the future. These singers and dancers are the future, and they're the positive statements that the world needs to hear. And music will unite everybody. And I'm all for just keeping the message alive.
And you're the messengers. This is your moment.
When Gary approached me about helping with this song, I thought, well, here's an opportunity to do something that there was just nowhere else that they can get this.
This is just amazing You know, this whole mentoring, you know, situation is just out of this world.
And they're absolutely wonderful to work with, and I hope the rest of the business is like this
Yeah.
because everybody's been like such a delight, and they treat us so nicely.
Can you hear the music? August 12th, chorus.
They'd have a discussion about vocals and this and that, and then they'd turn their little rolling chairs around and look at us and say, well, what do you think? You know, like,
Right,
your
they
opinion
would.
counts, you know, like, you're going to do this is what you want to do for a living, you know, and that shows us that they care.
It's important that kids get to hear music on a professional level because it's a completely different thing. It's like watching a car race on television and then being with real race car drivers. It's much faster than you think, and I think that it can be inspiring for them because they get to hear the real thing.
There should be much more funding for like arts in schools. I mean, this is the future of our world, these kids, you know, and they're creative and they need an outlet.
Lexi, one of the singers, came up to me and asked me if I could do choreography, and she told Mr. V about me. And Mr. V came in and saw one of my dance classes that I teach, and he was really excited, and he just said, do you want to choreograph? And I said, sure, why not? I'm up for anything.
I do all the costume design for the Arts Academy, and Mr. Van Voorst is part of that, so he asked me if I would help him out. I kind of coordinated it all. Like, I went to different places and gathered costumes. I saw things that I think would work, and then I just put everything together.
The foundation was put together simply because I realized that there was something magical that was happening with this particular song. People were jumping on board, and I realized that it was going to be bigger than what I imagined. So I needed to have a place and a foundation to take it national, so I could have more people, young people from across the country, be involved state by state by state. So they can do the same thing in their state that we're doing here in Newburgh. I wanted the song to have a flavor and a feel to it that would be uplifting, and yet have that message that, you know, if you just listen to the music, you'll get beyond those boundaries that separate us.
You can't read people's minds, you can't feel what other people feel, but I just know that when I hear this song, it's just like, wow, you know, like it can bring light into my darkest days, you know, and you just hope that other people can see this the way I do. And so saying we're living proof of what's going on, and we just hope that, you know, younger kids can experience what we've experienced in the past few years.
When people watch them perform this song or they hear this song, they'll say, well, maybe there is an answer, maybe there is hope, you know, maybe there is a future. And that's the message I hope is coming across on this song. I certainly think it's the message that the young people are feeling. And I think that's kind of what my mission and my idea is for this whole project. If you hear the music, you'll find the answer.